Awesome. Hi, I'm Scott Birch. I'm the manager of the Advanced Visualization Lab, and I have been with IU for almost 3 years now. And I wanted to take this opportunity to share some stuff about my group. I have a pretty dense presentation, so buckle up. So, sure. Oh yes, 2 years have been, in this COVID. Will the arrow keys change my slides, Chris? There we go. Okay, again, Eric presented a couple of weeks ago, giving us an overview of our RTV services. So again, I would like to delve into more details of my group, which is the Advanced Visualization Lab. So for the past 2.5 decades, the AVL has been a leading pioneer of academic visualization technologies, promoting institutional development of research, teaching, outreach visualization investments, and deployment. As our 25th anniversary approaches this coming fall, the AVL remains indispensable to the IU community. Our guiding principles continue to be innovation and adaptability. And I would like to thank Research Technologies leadership for this opportunity to reflect upon and highlight the many outstanding advances and achievements the AVL team has made in the recent past, and what we are looking towards today and into the future. Before I continue, I would like to reiterate something that Eric said, shared with the group 2 weeks ago. Our biggest strength is not the hardware or the software that we use or invested across all of IU campuses. It is our people who professionally represent IU on a daily basis, knowledgeable and experienced people providing a valuable service to the IU community. I added some lens flares in there to show you how bright these people really are. So our 3 common themes continue to be accountability, diversity, and standardization. And we have demonstrated considerable progress in both our awareness of these themes and in implementation of tools to assess our commitment to and completion of our goals. My team has been resilient and consistent through unprecedented times and has adapted quickly to a changing work environment. We have stayed connected to each other, to our partners, to our clients, collaborating and communicating effectively on a wide variety of subjects and projects. We continue to leverage the Microsoft enterprise software tools such as OneDrive, Planner, and Teams, and maintain a vibrant series of Slack channels to foster interpersonal communications and to share workflows, schedules, and other important and not so important details. We have spent almost 2 years meeting on Zoom and look forward again to meeting in person as the campuses truly open up again to in-person collaboration. As many here have experienced, we have changed directions a few times, adapting to the ever-evolving environment and the new digitization and visualization technologies. We have shelved or reduced focus on certain techs, such as VR labs and centralized viz facilities, instead focusing on the world as our lab, using cloud services, personal displays, and web technologies. To remain effective and efficient, we chose not to pursue long-term unfunded projects. We've deprioritized custom code development for a limited clientele. And we have stepped back in digital humanities and the arts as other campus groups have stepped forward with appropriate expertise and departmental commitment. With change comes opportunity, and in that light, we have accelerated our move into online presentation, brought new advanced automated imaging systems and workflows online, and collaborated with IU3D to get our drone fleet ready and our pilots trained and certified. We're making a greater impact with fewer people. We are energized and we are ready for whatever is coming next. So our primary mission focuses on 3 main categories: advanced displays, such as our IQ wall mine of ultra-res interactive and our multi-screen visualization systems. This image here shows Chris Eller working on the decommissioned Ruble Commons IQ wall, which used to be in this location. This image shows a 4x4 reconfigurable IQ wall in our IT 403 Next studio. And this is the IQ portal, an 85-inch portrait-mounted monitor designed to show life-sized content. You can currently see this in showing content up on the 3rd floor outside the 360 office. And of course, the mighty and one-of-a-kind crystal display wall, which we were looking at a picture of the crystal display wall on the crystal display wall. So quite amazing right there. So our second focus is scientific and data visualization, meaning the segmentation and or the representation of data in a way to increase cognition, awareness, or application. We have built a team specializing in many of the technologies required to meet both internal and external objectives, covering a broad spectrum of subject matter expertise and hands-on installation skills. This slide shows the 6 phases of nuclear pasta, and these are 3D models with annotations on Sketchfab. Now we are visualizing data from an electron or confocal microscope. This image shows cellular detail of a fruit fly larva slice. And this is an example of a data dashboard pertaining to cybersecurity consultation for faculty in the Kelley School of Business. Our third main focus of expertise is advanced imaging, technologies that capture data with cameras, scanners, or sensors, and applying that data to research, teaching, or exploratory visualization objectives. Furthermore, while our spin-off group, IU3D, concentrates on capturing spaces and environments, the AVL specializes in accurately digitizing and displaying objects, which I will be showing later in this presentation. Advanced imaging technologies we deploy include 4 automated computer-controlled light box photography systems, try saying that, handheld structured light scanners, workflows for CT segmentation of volumetric data set, aerial photographs taken with drones, LiDAR scanning, additive and subtractive manufacturing technologies. So I want to take a deeper dive into each one of these, and I'm going to start with IQ display technologies. We are all probably familiar with IQ walls. We have installed almost 30 of these multi-screen, high-resolution displays on all 7 IU campuses, and each serves as a valuable resource in empowering students and faculty to showcase their visualizations. But IQ walls don't just appear overnight. We spend the time and effort to pre-visualize our IQ display technologies through digital modeling and 3D simulations, as shown here. On the left, you can see the variety of configurations for the traditional movable, reconfigurable IQ walls, from the single 1x4 IQ column to the vast 8x4 curved wall. We use 3D modeling applications to put tech into simulated usage environments such as museums or other public spaces. We pre-visualize scale, possible content combinations, and non-traditional configurations. And then comes the most fun part, at least for Chris Eller and his aging back, the installation of these systems, or the deinstallation, or sometimes both. This is a lot of specialized work, and Chris excels at it. And of course, the crystal display wall is a significant investment and an amazing visualization resource. Many AVL staff hours went into the conception, planning, vendor selection, design, and the building of this display, as well as developing best practices for using this resource. So this video is kind of interesting. It'll show a lot of what went into the actual production of this. In January 2020, the AVL worked with Immersive Graphics, or IGI, to assemble the Sony CLED wall and bring it online before the IU Bicentennial and Big Red 200 dedication. As this video demonstrates, the installation was quite an undertaking. We protected the floor as the pieces were wheeled in, and were available to answer any questions about the facility. We got our first view of the system of heavy-duty wheels and casters that are underneath this stage, making this the only mobile platform in the world of this size. We were there to help move ladders around, to answer questions about power, to point workers towards the bathrooms, and any other questions they had about power or wiring or utility closets that were around. We got a great look as the infrastructure was being installed. And this will show pretty soon. Chris was even able to do his signature hey, look at this pose for my ever-present documentation camera. I think that's coming up pretty soon. And Chris, I'm gonna see if I can do it right here, which is something like this. I think that's coming up pretty soon here. So we watched as panel after panel, there it is. This is classic pose right there. But we watched as panel after panel was put into place. The gigantic puzzle of the screen beginning to take shape. We were there when it was first fired up and began to display the first stunning selection of imagery provided by the vendors. So this was quite an undertaking, taking almost 12 hours, I believe, to complete as this went on into the night. And so you'll see some images when they first powered it up. So we were there when it first fired up, and we're here now with you right now, sharing this experience on the results of all this innovative thinking and hard work. This is the largest curved Sony CLED screen in North America, and again, the only one in the world to be able to move around the space. I personally am very proud of this effort and the investment in visualization made by you, its leadership, to have such an amazing thing. It will be a bright beacon for decades to come. Let me show you some examples of visualizations on this display. This is the fun part for me. At 5760 by 2160, the crystal wall is an excellent way to show off high quality images or renderings. The resolution is accessible for media designers. The high dynamic range lets a viewer perceive the differences across the full gamut of values and makes the viewing experience unequaled for such a large canvas. Scientific images such as this one, this is an 18-tile composite from an electron microscope, allow detailed examination of microstructures, such as the nerve channels indicated by the region of interest arrow. IU's collections of paintings, murals, and other works of art can be shared in startling detail and size. Here are panels from the Benton murals located in the lobby of the IU auditorium. You can even see the underlying texture and specular shine of the egg wash technique used by Thomas Hart Benton. And here are the murals in the IU auditorium lobby as captured by a 360-degree camera. Here is an assortment of woven and textile objects exhibited at the Eskenazi Museum of Art on the IU Bloomington campus. And here's a painting currently exhibiting in the Eskenazi, the swing landscape by Stuart Davis. Photo compositing, aligning, and merging techniques allow us to capture works of art with multiple DSLR photographs and create ultra resolution imagery. Panoramic photography looks cool, colors pop, like this picture of Millennium Park I took during Perk, as well as composite imagery like this slide on the old oaken bucket. IU icons like the Showalter fountain can be showed off in vivid detail, as well as astronomical imagery like this ultra resolution texture mapped 3D moon. Tiny paintings the size of a baseball card can be enlarged for detail study. You may notice one is even upside down, the second one on the bottom. That's the level of detail you get here. Digital creations, such as these anatomical segmentations, can be exhibited as works of art. Moving away from huge displays, the AVL has also focused on designing exhibits that feature smaller advanced displays, such as the series of holographic viewers from Looking Glass. We can share IU spaces and objects digitized from our advanced imaging team. This video produced by Chauncey Friend is demonstrating the 3D effect of our Looking Glass portrait orchestra. Chauncey also designed and utilized our Glowforge laser cutter to fabricate this IU 3D desktop display that was featured in the Wells Library, also integrating the holographic display as a digital diorama to showcase the outstanding work of IU 3D to the IU community. Last spring, the AVL partnered with faculty in the IUB Media School to produce a multimedia pop-up exhibit in Maxwell Hall, featuring a wide variety of projection mapping techniques that illuminated the spaces in the Cook Center Gallery. And the advanced display R&D continues into the future with new ideas, designs, and prototypes coming to life on a regular schedule. From managing COVID to designing mobile VR classroom resources, the AVL Advanced Display team is truly a unique IU resource. To leverage any advanced display system, we need digital content in many forms. So we're now going to take a look at the second main focus of AVL, which is the advanced imaging systems. Matt Mercer and Chauncey Friends take a leading role in this initiative. I listed off quite a few imaging technologies earlier, including our Ordery computer-controlled, automated 360 turntable photographic capture systems, which can capture objects large and small. With these systems, we have captured dozens of catalog-worthy imagery, including accessories from the Sage collection of Glenn Close movie costumes, paleontology specimens, and other objects made from a wide variety of materials. Shown here is a sample of the kinds of technology and cultural objects and artworks we can capture with AVL photography systems. With quality photographic data sets, we are able to effectively photogrammatize many of these objects we shoot, turning them into interactive 3D models, which I will share with you shortly. And here is Chris Eller in his bagpiper's regalia, being full-size, 360-degree digitized with our 5-camera Ordery system. Matt Mercer photographed this just yesterday, and I gotta say, seeing this made my day yesterday. It's kind of the culmination of many of my dreams all put together in one beautiful image. So our expertise in advanced imaging workflows have allowed us to work on remarkable garment projects, such as the Art of the Character, digitizing and exhibiting movie costumes from the Glenn Close collection, currently located in the IU Sage collection. Another example of advanced imaging is shown here. Chauncey recently designed and assembled a new 4K 180-degree camera system for conception to completion immersive VR video projects. With stereoscopic capture capabilities and 4-channel surround sound audio, we can efficiently produce engaging and immersive content optimized for YouTube and for viewing with mobile devices and/or VR headsets, such as the Oculus Quest 2. As I stated before, it's not about the technology necessarily, but how it impacts people. Last November, Chauncey, see, I went forward too much. Last November, Chauncey used the 180-degree system to immersively capture my interview with Brian Overshiner about the 3D Innovation Lab and the 3D medical work that they have produced. This currently has over 600 views on YouTube and effectively promotes his lab and the great work they have done so far. And here are just a few more examples of the projects relying on AVL's advanced imaging capabilities and recipes, technologies and workflows. From a mastodon skull to a sloth toe, from horse vessels to art museums, the AVL can image it all. So our third area of focus and expertise is in the category of scientific and data visualization, with Dave Reagan and Sean Slavin being our primary consultant experts. The AVL excels in sci-viz, what I think is the most difficult and challenging sector of visualization. Sean Slavin and Dave Reagan have standardized workflows, leveraged HPC systems, and demonstrated expertise in a variety of subject matter, such as this simulation of a globular cluster. Here's a molecular visualization created by Dave Reagan as a classroom exercise focused on ParaView Python scripting. Not only can ParaView produce compelling imagery, Dave is now leveraging other powerful tool sets inside the application to enhance research workflows upstream of the visualization itself, which can have a direct impact on improving research workflows. Here's another look at the fruit fly larva electron microscope image set. Sean Slavin demonstrated novel HPC workflows to align and merge 18 tiles into a single ultra resolution image. He created a script to do this for all 400 slices of the data set, creating one of the largest volumetric image data sets I've ever seen. And it creates a computing challenge if we ever want to try and 3D segment 447,000 pixel images. That will be quite something if we're able to do it. Here's a geography data set visualized by Dave and IU faculty Sally Letzinger. This time ParaView is paired with our Sketchfab cloud service to deliver this interactive 3D model of aquifer data in Indiana. And here's an atmospheric data set produced also by Dave, yet another interactive Sketchfab model. This is just a still frame of a time series showing the 3D movement of aerosols across the terrain. So when I joined the team almost 3 years ago, I brought my professional specialty along with me, which is the 3D segmentation and modeling of anatomy captured with volumetric scanners such as CT, micro CT, or MRI. I have worked with the world's leading experts in veterinary and zoological anatomy and have built multi-layered 3D anatomy models of hundreds of organisms, such as this Mojave rattlesnake. To enhance clinical education with 3D technologies, I've built a large library of patient-specific and/or defect-specific anatomy models for veterinary cardiology, such as these canine PDA blood pool morphologies. In this case, we're comparing the normal on the top left with all the morphologies of abnormal. These models enhance surgical outcomes by allowing clinicians to pre-visualize the defects and surgical approaches, as well as providing precise measurements. This model illustrates the hole between the top heart chambers in a dog called an atrial septal defect. Our 3D medical visualization workflows and visualization techniques also transfer to human volumetric visualization and segmentation. This has created opportunities for collaboration with IU health departments, such as the 3D Innovations Lab. We can visualize a lot of strange things with this technique, such as this 125-year-old collection of Tasmanian tiger fetuses that were stored for decades in formalin jars in a remote Australian museum, or this tiny ant living in a remote African rainforest. This was a demo I made for my interview 3 years ago to be showed on a 4x4 IQ wall. I think it kind of holds up. It's pretty cool. We can also produce scientific visualizations of objects with our advanced imaging systems and photogrammetry software, such as Metashape, which is also available to students and faculty through Research Desktop. This is a mastodon skull, possibly containing some of the earliest chiseled human artworks discovered in North America. This is a pretty spectacular digital model, again, visualized through our Sketchfab online cloud service. Kind of a YouTube for 3D models, Sketchfab has proven to be a vital way for the AVL to share our incredible work. Speaking time and time again of Sketchfab, the AVL presence on Sketchfab has taken off in the last few years and has become our primary test kitchen for sharing of 3D objects to a global audience. We have hundreds of high-quality models in our collections, tens of thousands of views, and many models have been integrated into student curriculum. We continue to push ahead with education and outreach opportunities, inventing novel 3D modeling techniques and staging techniques, and leveraging cloud services to share our work to a wider audience and clientele. To summarize, it has been a professional pleasure to manage such a talented team and to work on so many intriguing projects. This is kind of my dream job. And it is important to reiterate that, again, it is the people that make AVL such an excellent IU resource. It is the people who are leveraging the hardware and software of UITS and applying them to solving the problems of students, the challenges of faculty and researchers on all IU campus. It is the creative, experienced, and hardworking AVL team members who continue to demonstrate value to the entire IU community and to the state of Indiana. It has been an honor today to represent my team, to showcase their work, and share the many successes we have had, both in the past and in the future to come. Thank you. Birch out. So I will take any questions if you have any. Any questions? Any questions today? I have enough.
How do you find your customers and how do they reach you and how do they find out all the things that you're about?
The question is, how do we find our customers and how do people learn about us? We have the KB articles is one way. We're starting to work on our web presence through directly sharing our Sketchfab collections. We have a database with media called Omeka that we're able to share our works through an online platform. And it's word of mouth. I think the last few years have been very challenging as people have been working remotely and our centralized visualization systems have gone unused. So I think this will be an excellent opportunity to to rebrand AVL and to kind of come back to life. And that's why presentations like this today is a great practice for us to do just this. We're doing it right now, in fact, sharing our awesome work, showing what we can do, and then looking for key projects that will have impact both to students, to faculty, to IU, and again, the state of Indiana.
What are some of your potential new partnerships outside of the university and see as maybe shorter things?
Sure, I think along with, in partnering with our IU 3D, oh, I'm sorry. The question was, in what ways or who are we looking to outside of the IU community to partner with? And I think there are a lot of opportunities both with museums. We have started to digitize spaces of museums and galleries to digitize artworks. We are working on a project proposal with the Department of Natural Resources to kind of show off the state parks and to, again, digitize artifacts of much like the Spring Mill State Park and the Pioneer Village. Our drone digitization could provide a map of the space. IU 3D is bringing on some LiDAR capabilities that can kind of bring this all together, as well as, again, our digitization systems, which can focus on the objects contained within these collections. So there are a wide variety. Those are just two examples. I think, again, as we look to expand our services, we're always willing to talk to anybody within Indiana who has an interesting project that has an impact on a large amount of people. Eric.
You threatened to show us some 3D stuff.
Oh, okay. Like the Sketchfab. Let me see if I can do that without breaking anything. Let's see. So am I still in? That's my thing. So I can escape out of this. Okay. So let me get a browser. I'll show you. This is it's easy to find our Sketchfab presence. And so if I will go as me, I might have to turn around a little bit, steer here. And okay, so this is our main Sketchfab. Yes. Oh, okay, let me share that back on Zoom. Okay. Share screen. So there it is. Okay, can't double click. I'm a Mac user. This Windows thing is a little odd. Okay, here we go. Can everyone see me? Probably see it here. Okay, let me close this down. Make this a little bigger. Okay, so it's hard for me to work backwards and upside down. Okay, so here we go. So here are our collections of objects on Sketchfab. We're organizing all of our objects into collections. So you see, it's very quite varied, from campuses to cultural objects, campus objects. We're starting to do tests on wardrobe. We're doing statuary, all sorts of things, as well as the interactive models. So I'll bring up the Mastodon skull. This is pretty cool. This again was an interesting project. We used our 5-camera orrery system to light this. This is the mandible section of a mastodon that's missing its tusks, and it's about 3 feet long. So again, Sketchfab allows us to create these scenes with shadowing, with textures, with lighting, to zoom into them and just to get these really outstanding views of them. And this was, we also did a Go scan, a held scanner to get the geometry, but we found that photogrammetry really produced a really fantastic model that, again, can be shared. I think too, what's interesting about Sketchfab, not only can you rotate things, is that you can change the lighting and the shadowing. So in this case, some of the depictions that have been chiseled into this are only viewable if the lighting and shadowing is put to a specific place. So again, the researcher has more ideas about this, but there apparently are some depictions of elephants and stuff in this area. So that's just one of them. Again, I encourage anyone to go to Sketchfab, search AVL, Advanced Visualization Laboratory, and check out some of these things. We've got dozens or hundreds of objects, each of them more interesting than the last. Some of these are pre-visualizations at scale of some of our visualization technologies and systems, like this IQ wall. I'll go on full screen on this one again so you can kind of see. So this gets a good idea of the scale, what a 4x4 configuration might look like. What's really nice about Sketchfab too, some of the tools built into it, such as augmented reality. So I could hold up my phone and put that wall and place it on the floor and get an idea what it might look like in the space. I can also put on an Oculus Quest headset and place myself into the scene and literally stand with these little blue people right in front of it to get an idea of what these things look like. So a very comprehensive tool for us to leverage with all the content that we can make. And we are a factory now. As we're developing these workflows for digitizing, we've got the input systems and we've got the display technologies, as well as expertise in 3D printing, in Glowforge laser cutting. We've done some work with CNC carving machines. Any way, again, to show off this work in an interesting and innovative way. So again, I would encourage anyone, if you're interested, anything from engines, we've got cultural objects, paintings, medical things, a huge variety of content on our Sketchfab. What was that? Let me see. Glowforge stuff. I don't think, because it's a real thing, it's in a photo album. I have a photo album. I would have to log into another browser. Let me see if I can.
The slides from the first Thursday, we have Glowforge out there.
Yeah, where were those slides? In it earlier? I think I got rid of those in my particular presentation. Let me see if I can. Okay, I can bring some in and share. If anyone's interested in some, I have a wide variety over next door in our IC105 lab as well. There's a display or collection of some of the objects there. Yeah, I have a photo album, but it's in my other account, so take a little bit to show those. I'm sorry, what? Check. Ah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, I'm up on the third floor. If anyone comes up with a question later, please, I'm happy to answer any questions or direct any of our experts in that particular subject matter to further help. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity today. Yes.
Are all of your physical outputs one-offs, or do you have any pipelines for mass production? So this is pipeline 3,000, that's a great idea.
So, oh yes, okay. So he's wondering if a lot of our work are one-offs or whether we have workflows or capabilities to do mass production of things. So I think that's an interesting question. And for me as a content creator, creating the pixels and the pieces themselves is only part of the story. I think coming up with the workflows and then stopping right there is kind of that factory system. So for instance, once I have a Glowforge pattern or something, or a 3D model that I uploaded to Sketchfab and made available, I won't go 3D print it, 10 of them to sell or to give around, but I would offer these, I would send you to Sketchfab so you can download it yourself, go over to Wells Library and have them print it for $12, some anatomy hearts or something like that. So we don't want to be in the job or the role of producing these things for people, but maybe empowering you to produce it yourself. So that's again, the change from a centralized service to the world as our lab. So again, people with 3D printers, we could help provide the recipe for them to leverage their printers, or recommend shapeways.com, which is a great job at a decent price to print things in a lot of different materials. There are DigiFab Labs. The Mad Lab has CNC capabilities. IUPUI has capabilities for manufacturing. So again, we're coming with workflows rather than the final pieces. And our one-offs are kind of much like the Sharper Image store. Like there's one of them in there and you show them off, but you can't really buy it. You'd go back home, get online and buy it and have it shipped to you. So that's kind of, I see, these are things to get people interested in. And then if they're interested, we can look in how to reproduce them later.
I think technically for Big Red 2, we printed up like 100 nuclear hospital. You can see them around our people's desks, but that was basically going to Shapeways and say, okay, so what? So relatively expensive. Because you actually need to go through all the different production methods and that sort of scale.
Did I answer our question? But again, I don't think we're a fabrication facility or to actually make or to store physical objects, but more the workflows to be able to do it, and then the recommendations to send you to a vendor or to IU resources to do such a thing. Oh, okay. So Chauncey's got a link. Chauncey is our guy up in IUPUI. Again, using our Glowforge can not only make wood stuff, it can cut a variety of materials such as plastic, acrylic, paper. You can etch into metal, do all sorts of things. So he produced this digital diorama, all of the pieces, and then assembled this. So it's like a flat pack system. He cut all the smoked acrylic, etched the text into the clear acrylic, and then designed all of the holes essentially to screw it all together. He added lighting with LED lights and yeah, essentially fabricated this sort of thing from his personal design. And so Glowforge will also use, I have recipes to turn bitmapped objects into Illustrator files compatible with it that can do some engraving. We could also send those to CNC to do a kind of a more specialized engraving or really specialized in cutting and then layering things together. So map topography based on elevation, you could print or cut out the different bits and glue it together to create these interesting pieces.
You can open one more look at the chat, and that's the initial CAD design for that. So it'll be the last one.
This one right here? Ah, sorry. Come here. So again, Sketchfab, really great tool to pre-visualize what models and designs might look like. So this is something Chauncey brought to the group for critique and to kind of see what scale it would be and how it all worked together. So a nice piece. And I think we have this display is currently up in our next studio up at IUPUI. We took it out of the Wells library and reformatted it for other use. Anything else? All right.